to sing along. We're not landing on the moon. It doesn't matter if your timing too late or too soon. I never cease to wonder, could there be something more between the rain and thunder, beneath the sea and shore? Without the melodrama, every night and day, there'd be no panorama to take our breath away. That's why I write this simple song. I don't mind if you get it wrong. We're not landing on the moon. It doesn't matter if your timing's too late or too soon.
Good evening, everyone. We're here. Okay, we're in for a very nice evening. You can relax and get ready to really enjoy this. My name is Percy Parker Williams, and I do commercials. Many years ago, I came back from the States. Spent about 10 years over there. I came back in 1979. And the first job I got was with Kerpelani's. Roy Boyk and Hans Hanuman Singh hired me there. And I met a couple of guys. They were graphic artists. That's Larry and Richie. First two guys I met. Yeah, so I'm to Larry boy. Tonight is going to be story time. I'm going to be telling you this story. I met each of these people here at different times in my life. And we're all back together. I didn't even know they knew each other or what they're going to be doing here this evening. We didn't know. So, commercial. This is one of what I did, one of the commercials. Girls, 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 shop at anyone. They got things for your hair, for your skin, for your lips, and your beautiful eyes. Girls, 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 shop at anyone. They got fragrances, lotions, cream shampoos, and lotions. They got great, great smiles. I sing all the Pennywise commercials, and I have the oldest commercial in the year now, 25 years. This is the season to be happy. All right. Let me give you one more that I've done. Oh God, me the top, talking about the thing. Yeah, all you real young boy, all you know that, yeah. Listen. Okay. I am from Mova originally. And I had a friend named Lincoln Small. You remember Lincoln Small, brother? Yes. I grew up with this guy here. And yes, man, good to see you. And Lincoln had a speech impediment. Anything that started with S, like sugar, he pronounced it with a T. Give me some sugar. And anything started with F, he pronounced it with a P. So, Lincoln used to be talking and move on. We used to be laughing at him. He was like 3 years older than me. And sometimes he get vexed, say, I never tea that. So I used to mock him. I never tea that. Tap me up and thing. So one day, this is a true story. Lincoln's parents went out. We didn't have bushwhackers. They had hoes. And Lincoln's parents went out and they hired Mr. Sampson to weed the yard. Mr. Sampson weed in the yard and he hear commotion. Oh God, me the tap, twit, me the tap. So Mr. Sampson, Lincoln, what happened? Oh God, me the tap, my bumblebee thing me in my eye. Well, how about bumblebee man just sting in the eye? The dog did one with an atomic book. And all in the technique, something going to doom. A doom. So I take what I dead plane back. When I moved the curtain to the dead plane, the bumblebee thing me in my eye. Now that really happened, so I add, well, don't worry, Lincoln, use some of this Decad's petroleum jelly with aloe vera. Decad petroleum jelly with aloe vera, what do I do? Well, you could for insect sting, sunburn, small rash. Let me see it. The eye peeling good already yet. Decad petroleum jelly with aloe vera, it's not easy at all. I can see clearly now. That commercial, and this is true as well, that commercial caused Johnson & Johnson to close down. They gave Pennywise and Hannah all their products because the people who were distributing it fell asleep. Another petroleum jelly bypassed Vaseline as the first time in the world. So Vaseline is number one. Pennywise is number one. I've had 3 clients for 25 years. Usually an agency will change a client every year or 2. I did Death with Brigo. It's death to the flies and death to the roaches. Do you remember that? I do commercials. All right? But, and now we're talking about, my partner, they say something about homosexual. Now, me now nothing against bullers, you know what I mean? Once they bring nothing to me. Now, I have a broadcasting school. IBC. We train people like Samantha, John, and Orly, right? And I'm a class teacher about 30 people, 30 students. I said, listen, this is what you have to do. I hear, sir. I say, yes. Say, it look nice in your clothes, you know, sir. I say, thank you, so do you. Well, that is because as a designer, sir. I say, all right. I write it on the board. Sir. I say, yes. So I would like to make a pants for you, sir. I said, you can't make no pants for me, brother. Why, sir? I said, because they like to measure from here. Not I'll measure from behind. Not me. I ain't taking that chance at all. They be watching me there. One of my partners meet me in tongue here. Percy! I said, what? Boy, I make you out from behind. I ain't trust them at all. You see how them fellas looking at me behind here? I'm not one of you all, eh? Okay. Pass that stool for me, please, brother. That sounds like he's one of us. You know that laugh, boy? Okay. I'm going to be telling you a story. Yes. Who's that motor there? Boy? I love children. Very nice. Hey, my mother used to beat me a lot for talking too much. The teachers used to beat me a lot for talking too much. Now I make my living by talking. All they do beat them when they're talking too much. Yeah? Hush them up. I see a girl the other day. I see a girl the other day in Princess Town. Hush him out! You see that? Irvin promised me a piece of gold. He better bring that for me, you know. And my KFC. I say, hush you! I like to observe people, boy. That's madness. Leave them alone and speak to them nicely, all right? Miss, that is to you? All right. Listen. I find you such a beautiful woman. And you know, I different, yeah? When I see a nice woman, it's like if I bite her tongue, brother, go. Hey, let me start my story now. I want to tell my story. Once upon a time, there was a boy, a very strange and enchanted boy. And then one day, he was 60. That's the present. But there is a past. Almost 4 decades of work and wonder, of love and life, of music and magic, of coincidence and good fortune. This is a story. The story of the boy, Little Boy Blue. This is Storytime 2014. Sit back and relax. You might feel like tapping along, and that's quite all right. It's not rocket science. It's not like landing on the moon. It really doesn't matter if your timing is too late or too soon.
I never thought you'd fire me. I never felt you'd know. If I could just retire me, I would be free to go. I never sought compassion outside the battle zone. Could that be your reaction? Then I am not alone. That's why I write this simple song. I don't mind if you sing along. It's not like landing on the moon. It doesn't matter if your time is too late or too soon. I never cease to wonder, could there be something more between the rain and thunder, beneath the sea and shore? Without the melodrama and the big night and day, without that panorama, we have no place to play. And that's why I write this simple song. I don't mind it, you sing along. We're not landing doesn't matter if your timing's too late or too soon. I never think about a world at war. What does it matter what we're fighting for? A world at war. I won't be towing any party line. A little truth and I will be just fine. A world at war. Why I doesn't matter if your timing's too late or too soon. We're not landing on the moon. It doesn't matter if your timing's too late or too soon. I never thought you'd find me.
They have been friends with him since the early 70s. He had met the first two of them while still in Fatima College. Along the way and over the years, others joined in. This bunch of roving minstrels composed songs about their juvenile experiences. They would visit at people's homes, tell their stories, and sing the songs all night long. This is why they eventually adopted the name the Storytime Band. In the early 1980s, they ended up in the Little Carib Theatre with their still unsurpassed Storytime 80 and Storytime 81 productions. By the sheerest of coincidences, over the last few months, they began hanging out closely again. Every 2 weeks, they gathered at the home of one of them to talk about people, politics, finances, family, health, happiness, and growing old. So when the boy approached his time for retirement and a celebration was being contemplated, it was just too much to resist. Ladies and gentlemen, I present the Storytime Band, Reloaded. Larry is who I met first with Richie. I got a job at Kirpalani's and they were graphic artists. Great guys. They were really good. As a matter of fact, up to today, Larry still does work with me. When you pass and you see the dead billboards, that's his work. Richie has gone a step further now. He's a big drummer. He plays out a lot. But I didn't know these guys knew anybody else in this band. And as years progressed, I met some of them. Let me introduce you Larry. Larry, let him tell you something about himself as well and give you a song. Round of applause, don't be afraid. This guy is good.
Hello, people. Hello. 40 years ago, I wrote a song for my friend Allison. Yeah, Allison would come to school with heavy makeup, pretty colors, and you know, she attracted a lot of attention. And I didn't kind of like that, you know, so that's what this song is all about. It's called Kaleidoscope.
I like you, Allison. Your kaleidoscope eyes caught me looking twice. But I'd be in trouble, I'd be in hell. You don't look like the kind of girl that will suit me very well. You look good for sure, but how much more do you have behind those eyes that people criticize? I guess you'll have to go as you are. Remember, you're a star as far as I am concerned. I like you, Allison. Your kaleidoscope eyes caught me looking twice. But I'd be in trouble, I'd be in hell. You don't look like the kind of girl that will suit me very well.
the boys like you too, but that doesn't matter. We know what you're after and who isn't. Well, kaleidoscope, I just can't cope with the wild personality you impress on me. I like you, Allison. Your kaleidoscope eye for me looking twice. And I'd be in trouble, yeah. I'd be in hell. You don't look like the kind of girl that will suit me very well. But that doesn't matter. It's sex, yeah, after, and who isn't? Well, kaleidoscope, just can't cope with the wild personality you press on me. But anyway, I like you, Allison. Trouble, yeah. I'd be in hell. You don't look like the kind of girl that will suit me very well. I like you, Allison. You're the only girl at school. Trouble, I'd be in hell. You don't look like the kind of girl that will suit me very well.
Wait, was that good or was that good? Give Larry another round of applause. That's really great. This man is an artist. What do you know about singing? I needed that song so many years ago. That's really good. Those guys are great. Let me continue. After leaving Fatima in 1972, the boy was very disoriented. He joined the public service as a temporary clerk, but that was temporary. What to do? What to do? What to do? He noticed the throng of post-Fatima contemporaries headed for UWI. UWI is it then, he convinced himself. But still, what to do at UWI? Having fidgeted with amplifiers and microphones, it seemed to him that electrical engineering would be a perfect fit. But he underestimated the complexity of abstract mathematics and power theory. Luckily, he came first in drafting, and the dean said, "Civil engineering for you, boy." No argument there, another in a long series of lucky breaks. In 1972, the boy joined the Ministry of Works as a civil engineer and immediately started designing and building roads and highways. Little did he suspect that he'd be there for the next 35 years. And UWI didn't forget him either. Curiously though, when they gave him an award, it was not for his engineering accomplishments, but rather for his musical ones. Yes, go figure. By day, he was the mild-mannered civil engineer, but by night, by night, the creative persona took over, scoring and performing in back-to-back musicals at the Little Carib Theatre, appearing on radio and television, writing in The Guardian and The Express, and touring internationally. They said he did engineering with an artist's touch and art with an engineer's touch. An odd balance that fortunately never deserted him. Strange, weird, the Jerry curl. I remember that. The all black outfits and the baggy pants. Still have them today. The darkened offices. Always original, always alone in the midst of the crowd. Now, while doing some ads, I met a young lady. Marvelous voice. Beautiful too. We didn't talk too much, but I admired her. As a matter of fact, doing commercials, I meet a lot of people. I'm going to just call a few names after this. But she is great.
Sometimes I wonder where I've been, who I am, do I fit in? Make believing is hard alone out here on my own. We're always proving who we are, always reaching for that rising star to guide me far and shine me home out here on my own. When I'm down and feeling blue, I close my eyes so I can be with you. Oh, baby, be strong for me. Baby, belong to me. Help me through, help me need you until the morning sun appears, making light of all my fears. I dry the tears I've never shown out here on my own. And when I'm down and feeling blue, I close my eyes so I can be with you. Oh, baby, be strong for me. Baby, belong to me. Help me through, help me need you. Sometimes I wonder where I've been, who I am. I may not win, but I can't be thrown out here on my own. Out here on my own. Roger told me there would be a dry eye in the house, but I didn't think it would have been mine. Thank you.
I went on the internet reading and I bounced up some facts. Some facts that you may not want to know. I love you too. A pig's orgasm lasts 30 minutes. Hey, I ain't lying to you. It's like 10 seconds something, huh? And I just began like, oh God, no, 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 yes, yes, no, 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 God. I began, but 30 minutes. Who went dead, badly wounded there, boy? Annie, something wrong here, you know. Sometimes you just call me a pig. I know it's not for that. Anybody else coming home? No, I ain't trust her, you know. Woman, you know, let me continue. A cockroach will live 9 days without its head before it starves to death. I still don't know about that pig yet. The strongest muscle in the body is the tongue. A tongue and a mustache, nothing to beat that. Think about it. What are you hiding your face for? Right-handed people live on average 9 years longer than left-handed people. So if you're ambidextrous, you split the difference? Make no sense to me. An ostrich eye is bigger than its brain. I know some people like that. A flea could jump 350 times its body length. That's like a human jumping the length of a football field. 30 minutes. A lucky pig, boy. Can you imagine that? Some lions mate over 50 times a day. I still can't believe that pig. Quality over quantity, brother. Starfish have no brains. I know some people like that too. Polar bears are left-handed. So if they switch, they go live longer? That ain't making no sense. Humans and dolphins are the only species that have sex for pleasure. I wonder if, what about a pig? The dolphin know about the pig? Let me some facts me really want to know. Let me continue my story now. You want the story, baby? I fantasize on big women, you know. I was always a small woman. See, my wife, she's small. She could beat you. I just fantasize, you know. I would like... No, it's true. It's real true, let me tell you. I like small women because I like them to run and jump on me. Let me hold them and spin them around and all kind of thing, you know. I mean, I like that. I could imagine you running and jumping in my lap. Here what I want to do. No, you know what I just fantasize on big women? I would like to lift you up on my shoulder and slam you on the ground and talk. 1, 2, 3, you're dead. Count me out. I just look at that boy. I'm not a pig, that's not a pig. You're right, Shafid. Okay. Continuing. In the Ministry of Works, although his door was always closed to protect the low-light ambience, he would say it was always open to any and everyone from inside and outside the service. Knock, knock. Ever so often. Come! That was the cue for the continuous consultations the boy would provide. Young and old, male and female, subordinate and supervisor, about work, about personal issues, about how to stay sane in an insane world. Whatever. And why did he do it? Who knows? Does it even matter? He did it. That's all. But let the young transportation engineer, Adante Piggot, tell you his experience. Round of applause right there. Come up, sir. Huh? Yeah. Sorry.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Yeah, I really didn't know this part was coming up so soon. A special good evening to everyone. I must say it is very delightful for me to have this opportunity to share a few words with you about my experiences with Mr. Israel. I'm going to keep this short and sweet because the last time I had to give a speech for this special, weird, bizarre, fair, real, encouraging, motivating, adaptive, flexible, thick-skinned badass, I could have barely kept back the tears from what was really happening. Mr. Israel leaving me? I don't think I was really prepared for that. Why? I am. Yeah. All right. I would say I was. I am. I'm kind of young. I didn't get enough of his wisdom. So I felt that I can do with some more education. I needed some more fair or balanced advice. I can do with a bit more motivation and drive. Or I needed some more development so that I can be able to handle the political arm of the job. And lastly, so I could become a badass too, right? Yeah, Mr. Israel was the perfect mentor. Yeah. Even though we didn't see eye to eye on pretty much only one thing, one thing. For example, I always ask him, why are you entertaining these folks? It's a question I've always asked. Every issue we're faced with, whether it's on the party bus route, taxi associations, with Woodbrook and St. James residents, and even members of staff, you could name it. Mr. Israel always told me, straight up, get out of that arrogant mood and understand you must reach out to the people, hear their views, and we'll be better able to make better decisions in this field. He always said he does not totally believe in engineering, but more so common sense and rationality. I think I understand, or maybe I do understand, and trying my best not to accept that I've wasted 7 years of tertiary education since surviving in this field and in this ministry may all boil down to just common sense and rationality. I've noticed so many weird things about him throughout the years and tried my best. Try my best not to ask, but throughout our many conversations, I was able to figure out some stuff because I asked one or two of them. Mr. Israel, why do you walk run? Answer, walking is too slow, running is too fast. So walking with a little run is just the ideal pace to work with. Mr. Israel, what is it about you and Velcro? No, interestingly, it's the #1 invention by mankind. That's what he responded. I tell you, Mr. Israel uses Velcro on everything. The back of the laptop face is cool, functional. You know, on the back of the laptop face, you put all the external devices and accessories you may need for the laptop. I won't lie, I haven't done it to my Maccas yet, but, you know, it really makes some sense and it's functional. One weird Velcro moment I saw was he gave me a ride one day in his vehicle. and I saw in the middle of the steering wheel, I saw Velcro. And I saw somewhere on the dashboard, there's some Velcro as well. And then I realized it's for his phone, so he could put the phone on the middle of the steering wheel. Right? But in this field that we are in, you could see it's a road safety measure that he's really yeah. Mr. Israel, what's up with the MC Hammer pants? It serves a purpose. He pulled a zip. When I saw inside the zip, how many things this man is walking around with on a daily basis. There's keys, tie straps. I had tie straps in the street in my speech here, and then I came around and I'm looking at all the fans. Look what's holding up all the fans is really tight. These tie straps. Other things I haven't totally understand were the whistle on the watch. I don't. No, I just don't understand it. But I heard it tonight, and the all black every day. I mean, I love the color black, but every single day, Mr. Israel, come on. Yeah. I must say that Mr. Israel made a significant positive impact on me at Ministry of Works and Infrastructure. The firepower I came with into the ministry was definitely put to work and not laid to rest. He challenged me, corrected me, my memos, letters, reports, scratching it up with red ink, as if I was still in an educational institution. He encouraged me to take lead on some of my initiatives and ideas, even though they were not original. For example, every time I approach him in his dark palace, I heard you mention, and his offices are always dark, at the ministry to ventilate on technical issues, on why aren't we doing this? How come we have not done that? He waits for me to vent, smiles, he pulls a drawer and passes a file to me. Then he says, "You really reminded me of when I was your age, 10 years ago. Take a look at that file. I've tried it already. Maybe you can get the right people to endorse it and get any effect." All in all, I would have never believed that I was going to meet someone who have been able to push and mold me in a well-established institution such as Ministry of Works and Infrastructure. I've always heard colleagues saying, working in the public service is a waste of time. The old hogs act as though the ministry is theirs. They do not want to impart knowledge to the younger ones. Also, I've heard comments where my colleagues said that, people in ministries say, you all have all these degrees and just don't know how to do the work. Meeting Mr. Israel and a few others in Ministry of Works and Infrastructure was a totally different experience from what I heard. And I would like to publicly thank him for every single thing. Yeah. Mr. Israel, I thank you for being special, weird, bizarre, fear, real, encouraging, motivating, adaptive, flexible, and a thick-skinned badass. It helped me thus far. It will help me now, even though you're gone. I'll never forget you. And I hope that other senior officers present here this evening see how appreciative a young one can be for the knowledge gained from another senior public officer. Once again, Mr. Israel, and thank you.
That was hot. That was really hot. That was nice. That was nice. After leaving Kirpalani's, I went to work at Christensen and Belgrave, where I launched Mario's Pizza. I advertised for Mario's Pizza through the agency. They never looked back. And Corbin Compton, Corbin Communications now, they made me an offer I couldn't refuse. And I left Christensen and Belgrave to work with Corbin Compton, where I did Charles Candy, Bongo, and Coconut, and Bello, those kind of commercials. And I had to go into the Express a lot. I met this young man. He was in the accounts department. But I used to say hi to him, no particular reason. I would see him occasionally throughout the years. He's with us here this evening. He's one of the guys. This man, he has a hit out in Europe as well. Yeah, boy, a real hit. This man is good. He's a composer, he's an author. Watch how this thing, the boy, how this thing working, I mean. I'm too low. Okay. I from the... Although he missed out on being part of the Storytime band experience in the late 70s, Stephen caught up with the boy around the time when he performed at Helen Camps and 10th Theatre, during the period when that group pitched their tent at the foot of Chancellor Hill. During the 1980s, however, they teamed up to do many projects, including a Horace James movie and many episodes of No Boundaries, where the boy performed in the role of musical director. The boy. Coincidentally, just around the time when the Storytime band was performing at venues in Port of Spain, Stephen, originally from South, Faizabad to be exact, had just released his first single, which many of you should remember. And if you do, don't be afraid to sing along with the band. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Stephen Encinas. Our fans go.
Rock-a-bye, baby love. Rock-a-bye, baby, baby love. Rock-a-bye, rock-a-bye, baby love. Just dream through the night, let the older ones fight for peace. Sleep tight, my sweet child. Every inch the world spins, there are 10 times more sins. But don't you worry, we'll take care of things for a while until you're not a child anymore. Rock-a-bye, baby love. Or you need your rest, or you won't stand the test of time. Sleep tight, my sweet child. Won't be long before you have so much more things to do, but don't let that bother you. Tuck and tight, and I'll give you a kiss goodnight. sweet child. Your sweetness from faith, for you heaven was made. People will change, some things take a while, but nothing would change your sweet, sweet baby smile. Rock-a-bye, baby love. Rock-a-bye, baby, baby love. Rock-a-bye, baby, baby love. Thank you.
Our fella went to join the army. He wasn't too bright, like, come out of kindergarten or something. And the sergeant was teaching him how to operate a hand grenade. The sergeant said, you must hold the grenade, pull the clip, count to 8, and throw it. He said, all right. He pulled the clip. He said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hold on, 6. I tell you, there are real shopping people out there. No doubt. Oh, they don't understand, boy. You like my story? Where I reach? All right. In 1979, when Helen Camp started doing her own thing, as a sort of breakaway from Derek Walcott and the Trinidad Theatre Workshop, she came upon the boy composing, singing, and playing in a Felix Edinburgh Best Village production for Pity Valley Village Council. Now that was a lucky break. What followed was a series of unforgettable musicals featuring his unforgettable music. When, in 1980, Helen was casting the legendary Cinderama, the boy volunteered Anthony Johnson to play the lead. Tony had not acted before, but, hell, he could sing. And he looked good, which helps when you're playing a prince. By another coincidence, today is also Tony's birthday. So for all the retired and retired folks here tonight, here is Tony Johnson's celebration and tribute to that time of our lives. Time of our lives. Welcome him.
Good morning, yesterday. You wake up and time has slipped away, and suddenly it's hard to find the memories you left behind. Remember, will you remember the laughter and the tears, the shadows of misty yesteryear, the good times and the bad you've seen, and all the others in between. Remember, will you remember the times of your life? Reach out for the joy and the sorrows, put them away in your mind. Memories of times that you borrow to stand when you get to tomorrow. setting sun. The seasons are passing one by one. So gather memories while you may. Collect the dreams you dream today. Remember, will you remember the times of your life? So gather memories while you may. Collect the dreams you dream today. Remember, will you remember the times of your life? Do you remember the times of your life? Will you remember the times of your life? Will you remember the times of your life?
Give it up. Give it up again. Woo! Tony. The boy has been called many names. Some behind his back and some to his face. Some by Adante Piggot. There has been many names. Gadget Man, Mr. Fix-It, Problem Solver, Mr. Englishman, Mr. Know-It-All, Big Head, and others. The thing is that he also always had names for people. And fair is fair, I guess. But it has all been in the interest of fondness shared by fellow worker bees in the workplace. Always helped make the office and the stress bearable. Here's another office co-worker, a female this time, someone who has shared that space with him, with her own personal portrait. Welcome, Roopa Liking.
Congratulations, Mr. Israel. You made it. Unfortunately, not many of us reach this threshold. Anyway, thank you very much for inviting me and making me part of your special event. Roger, Peter, Brian, Israel. Yeah. He has been called by many names, but the most common ones, as Percy had already mentioned, are Gadget Man, the Fix-It Guy, Mr. Know-It-All, and of course, the guy with the weird baggy pants, and the guy who wears black all the time. Well, what can I say? For me, it was Roger being Roger. When Roger asked if I would do a tribute at this function, his retirement function, I was like, okay, why not? For I have known him for well over 26 years. All my public service life in the Ministry of Works. So I spoke to some colleagues of mine who had worked closely with him also. Together with my personal interaction with him over the years, here goes. Mr. Israel joined the public service in 1978 in the Ministry of Works, and he worked there continuously until 2013, when he was given the responsibility of higher office in the Ministry of Arts and Multiculturalism. At the Ministry of Works, I will say that he became a mentor and guide to the young officers, like Adande, example, whom he recognized as set to inherit the organization. His creative and effective approach to solving problems and managing, as well as motivating, staff at all levels is well renowned within the Ministry of Works, where he has spent almost his entire public service career of 36 years. One cannot help but realize his great potential and effectiveness as a psychologist, with no certificate in that area, by the way, in helping others to find the best work-life balance. He is known for his skillful handling of meetings between contentious parties, including the public, and his adeptness at extracting the most constructive contributions from participants. He was greatly instrumental in some of the major traffic, transport, and highway design projects at the Ministry of Works. His abilities are supplemented by an impressive command of the English language, in both its written and spoken form, as evident by his popular and thought-provoking weekly newspaper column, I Thought You'd Never Ask, which ran for 5 years in the Trinidad Guardian and later the Trinidad Express. In spite of his demonstrated competencies in the workplace, Roger has the distinction of also having a solid reputation as an accomplished musician, composer, arranger, producer, performer, and sound engineer, designer. In his heyday, he played a number of these artistic roles on stage, television, and radio. Memorable productions that bore his distinct signature include the Sugarcane Arrows, No Boundaries, and Nice Folks on the Street television drama series, theatrical musicals such as Cinderama, Snow Cone and the Seven Dwellings, Rampanalga Sunrise, and his own personal review, Roger Israel's 50% Blue, that was made into a Gaia television special. He has also been a radio host, and in his spare time, owns and operates an audio recording facility. This passion has made him very well networked, and this accomplished and expansive involvement in the arts, as they say, has not only been established his name within the fraternity, but earned him wide credibility and respect. I remember vividly the first time that I saw Roger, in the flesh that is, because I had seen him on TV before. It would have been in 1986 or 87, when he was a guest at my office Christmas luncheon. Everyone wanted to see the famous star of the Sugarcane Arrows series. I remembered because of the distinctive familiar dhoti pants that he wore then. It wasn't long after that I was assigned to work at the old Salvatore building, where I met and was formally introduced to Mr. Israel, the chief planning engineer. Over the years, I have had the opportunity of working with Roger, and I must say, he practices what he preaches. I have learned that he's a spiritual guy who operates by his own experiences with respect, affection, genuine friendship, and loyalty. He loves people. His positive demeanor led many staff members to keep running to him for advice, for guidance, for input into whatever they are doing, and for fixing the English in their documents. He made it clear to the supporting staff that he would see anyone who called or appeared at his office. He had a willingness to always help in whatever way that he could. Although it might have been closed, he maintained an open-door policy for all and sundry. You didn't have to be a member of staff. Just choose the topic: work, personal, family, politics, to name a few. I remembered when our little staff celebrated birthdays and Christmas, he would volunteer to play DJ music or sing along with his guitar. Nothing is too difficult for him. He either knows exactly what to do or let X accept it as a challenge. Oh, and how modest. He would say at times, compliments are welcome, but not necessary. Trust him to say exactly what he wants or feels, even if you don't like it. There's one more thing I need to say before I go. With a more than gentle prompt from Mrs. Myers, Roger was, in a sense, forced to relive his theatrical days. When he was given the acting position as Deputy Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Works, she insisted that he must dress appropriately for the role. Which he did, but that was only from 8 to 4, after which he promptly switched back to Roger. Every single day. I was sad, though, that the remarkable thing about ending his career at the administrative helm of the Ministry of Arts and Multiculturalism is that it is a fitting tribute to Roger's skills, knowledge, and abilities, as he was given the opportunity to marry his engineering background with his artistic ability. Of course, it is through Roger that I met his lovely and remarkable wife, Valerie, and their children, Angie, Abby, Kit, and Marshall. Roger, if the world had more people like you, it would be so much of a better place. You make such a difference. Thank you for the time spent with us, and I truly appreciate everything that you taught me and helped me with. Thank you. It has been, no, I'm not done. It has been a distinct pleasure.
You?
That says a lot about the kind of boy you are. I hear Percy calling him the boy, you know. A famous philanthropist, Bernard Baruch, said, age is only a number, a cipher for the records. A man cannot retire his experience, he must use it. So, on behalf of the crew from the Comprehensive National Transportation Study, the CNTS crew, and those many other members of Ministry of Works staff whose lives you have touched, I say congratulations and best wishes on your retirement. It's a well-deserved rest. And on behalf of my family and myself, I wish you the very best in your future retirement endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Roopa. Shaudai? Same thing. Chinese. The boy had been in the public service for a very long time. And even though helping and delivering to the population may have fit in with his personality, he was tired. He threatened to leave. He thought about it seriously. Time to go back to the music, full time. While I still have a modicum of appeal, he would say time and time again. Whenever he appeared to be serious and would probably actually do it, they raised the stakes. They made him an offer he could hardly refuse. He jumped from chief planning engineer to director of maintenance, then chief technical officer, then deputy permanent secretary. And just when he thought that was it and the sunset beckoned, along came this next gentleman. The boy got a 10 days, one more lucky break. But let me allow Dr. Lincoln Douglas to tell you this story. Welcome him.
Night, ladies and gentlemen. Keep playing the music now. Yeah. It's really an honor to be here tonight. What's the all this? Yeah, as I come up here, this stick. People always ask me, why are you walking on this? I remember the song of Mighty Trinidad saying, I am the big wood man. Well, big wood, for those of you who are thinking otherwise. When I was much younger, I used to memorize words on the dictionary, you know, just to practice on people. So I'd go in the dictionary and learn a whole set of words and string them together, and I'd like go up to girls and say, whenever I look into your beautiful, bountiful, beaming eyes, I'm left literally lost in a dear and delightful dream, which your fair, fanciful felicity as faces ever present, like a colossal comprehension of constellation. Well, even as I'm saying that, it reminds me of my encounter with Roger. He always, you know, I'm always like a kind of, I would just come up with things just like those words. I would come up with things and say, we've got to do this now. And I would just say, I understand, you know. I don't know what that means at all. What do you mean? I don't understand. Like, you don't always understand. And anyway, it was about 30 years ago. Oh, sorry, Percy. I got carried away. I was not a beat up pig, nor to pretend to be a pig. Yeah, it was about, I don't know how long it was, but at that point in time, I was running an organization called Youth for Christ Trinidad and Tobago. I was the national director, and I had a bunch of young people who I was working with, music, theater, drama, and everything. And we'd come by Roger to record these albums, but we never had any money at all. Never had any money. Back in those days, we used to record on this big fat 8-track tape or something like that. So what we do is that we practice like a whole week straight from 8 to 10 in the night every day for like 2 weeks straight, so that we could come into the studio and just record it in one go, you know? And we'd come here in the hole in the wall, and I'd come to Roger and say, we want to do this thing, but we ain't have no money, you know. We have like $200 or something, you know? He'd kind of look at us and say, my tape costing more than that, you know. Just the tape alone, more than the time he was. But he would always kind of look at us in this kind of sympathetic way, and, you know, as if to say, all right. And he'd allow us to record the songs. And so we recorded about 2 albums with him, you know. And then the next time that I like real hot boy. So see how you're taking the heat, boy? Yeah, and then after that, I went away for a while and came back. And Roger was still there doing what he does. At that point in time, I didn't know he was an engineer or anything. I just thought he was a musician. And so we started up this whole thing of recording with him again. And then I went back away for a while again, came back, and became a minister. Not a church minister as I was before. This time it's like a political minister, you know. One day I was walking about one of those functions that we go to, these kind of cocktail type of things that you have to go by the hundreds. I saw Johnny say, hey, I said, hey, how you doing? He said, well, you know, I'm a PS now. And I was like, what? I said, man, I need a real good PS. I didn't want to make sure. I'm trying to make sure my my previous PSA here. But she probably is here. But I tell her, I need a PS man, someone who understands the music industry. I'm the Minister of the Arts and Multiculturalism, you know, who understand the entertainment industry, the music industry, because I have a lot of ideas to get out. He said, well, I know, I'm retiring just now anyway. I said, whatever time you have, I'm taking it. So we had to get in this process of buying all this leave. And there's things about Roger that really irritate me. Like, the PS who is here, the head PS say, Roger, go across there and, you know, Mr. Douglas wants you, Dr. Douglas wants you now. And he was like, no, I am not going until I have every I dot, every T cross, until I have a letter. I'm like, Roger! But, you know, that's one of the things we like about him. He's very cautious and meticulous in terms of getting things done. So eventually he comes across to my ministry. We get all the I's dot, all the T cross, and he comes, you know. And his mantra is, I am here to get the minister's agenda done. As long as you ain't get me in trouble or you ain't get me in jail or nothing like that, I say, I promise you, I'm going to get you in jail or nothing. And with that, we started a barrage of work. I would come up with all my ideas and say, let me do this, let me do this, let me do this, let me do this, let me do this. See, I understand a word you're saying. I don't know what you're talking about. Could you explain that again? You know? And I would explain it again. And it would take about 4 or 5 iterations, and then he would say, I think you're getting clearer and clearer. I mean, he's now catching up with my language and my speed. But he says, I think you're getting clearer and clearer. And in the last few months, this is retiring from my ministry, which is a tremendous loss to all of us. Because if you have a PS that says, I am here to deliver the minister's agenda, you ever want nothing better than that? What else could you ask for? Because as a minister, that's what you want, to get your agenda going, you know? And so we've worked together for the last 6 or 7 or 8 months. It just went so fast. But I want to tell you that we have done so much in those last few months in terms of getting all of our major projects up and running. It is really, really a tremendous loss. I think I always remember Roger for the falling leaf, you know? Way back when I used to come here as a boy, you know, to do my recording and thing, he had this business card that had a leaf falling on it and wind blowing on it or some kind of madness like that, you know? And I used to ask him, Roger, what is the heck with this falling leaf? You know, and he would talk about life's simplicity, but yes, its complexity and solutions, and, you know, it looks simple, but, you know, and he is the solution master. And this is the next thing that irritates me about Roger, is that he really feels that he could fix everything. You know, and not only feel that, but he sets about to do it. And so, and when I say everything, that includes people too, you know. He used to say, I could fix that person, you know. I just stopped trying to fix it. He say, yeah, I could fix that person, but give me a little chance, you will see. And so he sets about his agenda of fixing somebody, you know. And he say, yeah, I think we fixed the situation, you know. Everything will be all right. And that's all right with me. I need a solution man or woman, because I have lots of ideas to put out. And it has made our ministry, since he's gotten there and we've been working together, it has made the ministry a very, you know, one of the things he said to me, look, you need more pretty women in this ministry. I don't know what that means, but he said, yeah, beauty helps. But it's a good idea. And we've set about making our ministry a much happier place, a much prettier place, a much more productive place. And Roger, I am really grateful, and I have, you know, thankful for your presence at the Ministry of the Arts and Multiculturalism. You've really helped us develop our agenda and put in a lot of foundational issues for the culture and for the arts of Trinidad and Tobago. You've, you know, taught us how to make the space a much more pleasant space. And he's even influenced me, who is kind of weird already. See, I'm wearing this kind of West Coat thing today. This is a tribute to Roger. Because he comes to my work wearing a West Coat and a T-shirt. But he says that that is a response to me, because everybody in the ministry had to have a kind of vibe going on. Because I have a vibe going on with African clothes and hat and thing. He have his own, I don't know. But whereas in the other ministry, they used to tell him just like a PS, in this ministry, he gets to be himself. So he comes to work with a T-shirt and a West Coat. Black, of course. But that's all right with me. It was an honor to have you, and you have made our space a much more meaningful and happier space, and we've done a lot of good work, and we are making plans to figure out a way to keep him somehow or the other. Thank you.
You want this?
Back in 1978, we used to go to a place in Maraval. These guys used to go to a place in Maraval. A guy with a big set of rasta hair, and his wife had rasta hair as well. And they used to sell these huge sandwiches. But zabuka, when you bite it, the zabuka coming out the sides. But the trick about that place, it was a very quiet place, and they had this record player with African music on it. And it was very scratchy. You couldn't figure out what they were saying at all. To us, in fact, we named the place because we thought what they were saying was Lumbayo, Lumbo, Limbayo. And we call the song Lumbayo, Lumbo. This is from Storytime 81, way back when Percy and I were virgins.
Percy.
Find the place, if we only could find the place. And the lights are up ahead with a silhouette of dreadlocks. If we only could find the place, if we only could find the place. We will eat our Rasta eats as we move on down the street. If we only could find the place, if we only could find the place. And we will clap our hands and sing as we glorify the King, Lord. If we only could find the place, if we only could find the place. We will leave our ladies home as we venture on. If we only could find the place, if we only could find a place. And the lights are up ahead with a silhouette of dreadlocks. If we only could find the place, if we only could find a place. We will eat our Rasta eats as we move on down the street. If we only could find the place, if we only could find a place. And we will clap our hands and sing as we glorify our King, Lord. If we only could find the place, if we only could find the place. Oh, if we only could find the place, if we only could find the place. Lomayo Lombo, if we only could find the place. adventure on our own. If we only could find a place. If we only could find a place. And the lights are up ahead with a silhouette of dreadlocks. If we only could find a place. If we only could find a place. We will eat our Rasta eats as we move on down the street. If we only could find a place. If we only could find a place. And we will clap our hands and sing as we glorify our King. If we only could find a place. 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 Lomayo Lomo. If we only could find the place.
Trinidadians are the only people in the entire world who take two negative words and make a positive statement. We just say, come, go. Reverse back. This shoe a little big for my foot. That is the same bus you just come out in. I don't start to finish doing it already. Climb up. Climb down the ladder. To climb means to ascend. I mean, just ask stupid questions. Is you? No, it's my brother. You're gone? You wake up? You're sleeping? And then we just get worse than that. You know, we buried John today. Hey, he dead? Trini is real good. And we just talking the plural. Give me our grapes. My ears scratching me. That is mines. We did a little bit. But you know, a law was passed about that. People living on Maturin Street cannot be buried in that cemetery. Did you know that, sir? Okay. Well, they live in. They live in, they can't be buried in. They live in on Maturin Street, so don't go bury them in that cemetery. You real stupid too. It's Noel. You understand? I like that one too. Noel. All of that stuff. Like, hey, young people has changed everything, boy. I tell somebody, boy, I say, boy, I tell you one tap, eh? Where's that, sir? I say, a cloud. A cloud? So, you know what you're talking about? I say, one of them, oh, you mean a bellas? I say, a bellas? How that changed the bellas? So when you hit anybody, they say bells. So them change that. All it was bellas, eh? I know. Bellas. Tap. Cloud. All right. The story continues. As the old saying goes, behind every successful man, there's a woman. Telling him that he's wrong. The picture of the boy could be incomplete without Valerie. You remember the nursery rhyme that went this way? Little boy blue, come blow up your horn. The sheep's in the meadow, the cows in the corn. Remember that? The lyrics change now. Steve, give me a F. His favorite choice of color is blue. They say all the choir has flipped over you. And when they learn it was not to be, this boy is in love with Valerie. Yeah, I know I went out a time there a little bit, but it's all right. I don't tell them, you know, real semantic, you know what I mean? Okay. I like to sing that. They met in 1974 on a cultural tour to Baltimore and other US places as well. Within the year that followed, he knew she was the one. Engaged in 1978, married in 1982, 4 children, 2 grand. He put it this way, we've been extremely lucky. To celebrate the 40 years of that luck, here's Tony and Neisha together, doing it the way they know best. Endless love. Welcome them.
My love, there's only you in my life, the only thing that's right.
My first love, you're every breath that I take, you're every step I make.
And I wanna share all my love with you. No one else will do. Your eyes, they tell me how much you care. Oh yes, we will always be my endless love. Two hearts that beat as one. Our lives have just begun,
And forever,
I'll hold you close in my arms. I can't resist your charm.
and love,
Oh love, I'll be a fool for you. I'm sure
you know I don't mind, 'cause you mean the world to me. Oh, I know I found
in you
my endless love.
The next tribute comes from someone who was associated with the boy in the most number of different phases and environments. To help flesh out the profile then, welcome Mr. Emmanuel George.
My colleague, Minister, yes, Roopa, and to all gathered here this evening, a very good evening to you all. And a good evening to the special guest, Mr. Roger Israel. And, I will be calling him simply Roger from here on. All right, because Roger and I, when I first met him around 1983, when I arrived at the Ministry of Public Utilities and National Transportation at the behest of one permanent secretary, Ms. Joyce Alcantara. And she had taken me from where I was working at the Ministry of Planning. And I came over to the Ministry of Public Utilities, and there I met Mr. Roger Israel, who was working in a very elevated position of Chief Traffic Engineer of the Traffic Management Branch. It's a big name, eh? Chief Traffic Engineer, Traffic Management Branch. And of course, in that role, he was responsible for managing the traffic throughout Trinidad and Tobago. Basically, that is what it was. And so we met, and we worked together. I think the minister then was Minister Eckstein. And because I had been assigned the schedule of transportation, which involved air, sea, and land transportation, I had to work very closely with Mr. Israel. Mr. Israel, yes, I should really stick to Roger. Yeah, so Roger and I meet there, and we worked on several areas having to do with that particular remit that he had. At that time, we were trying to manage the traffic in the country. And one of the key traffic management measures that was being introduced at the time, or being rolled out at the time, I should say, because it had been introduced long before, was the installation of traffic signals. We were building a lot of roads at the time, and the traffic was getting greater and greater, and we needed to manage it better. We had to put in a lot of traffic lights. And Roger and his team up at the Traffic Management Branch were responsible for awarding all these contracts to these contractors to install traffic lights and so on. And Roger used to be insisting with me that we can't give it to one person. You know, you have to spread it around because you don't want a monopoly, and you want to be able to have a lot of people trained in this area. And so Roger took it upon himself to supervise the award of these contracts in such a way that we had several people involved, several contractors involved. And what that resulted in was that we had all our traffic signals installed, all the traffic signals installed at the time. And you never heard about any corruption at all involved in all of those traffic signals. And I think, so that was one of the aspects of Mr. Israel where he and I hit it off very well. Israel, Roger, where he and I hit it off, you know, because he had a work ethic, and I had a similar work ethic. We have to get things done. Every day we got into the ministry, we would ask ourselves, what are we going to do today to make the lives of the population better? That was the key to how we related to each other. So between 1983 and 1987, I think it was, I was in the ministry, and then I left to go as transport commissioner. But that did not stop the relationship that we had, because some challenges that I met there, I would call Roger, talk with him, and ask him, you know, for advice and so on. And Roger is prolific with advice if you ask him. He always has a solution to every single problem that you come to him with. Around that time, well, I left there in 1991, 92, I think it was, and came back into the ministry. And Roger and I worked on moving the maxi taxis from Broadway. All you remember the maxi taxis in Broadway and the confusion? Right. Roger was central to that initiative of moving them from Broadway because they were just confusing everything in town. All right? And of course, out of that came Citygate. Citygate was created. That's Roger, you know. Don't let nobody fool you. That's Roger's work. And we have to remember the legacy that Roger has left us, because moving the maxi taxi from Citygate was a big project. And the only person who could have credibility with the maxi taxis and the maxi taxi president and so on was Mr. Israel. Mr. Israel. Yeah. The only person who had that credibility with the maxi taxi people was Roger. No. The minister getting involved wasn't working at all. So we had to shove the minister in the background. I wouldn't say who he was at the time. But no, yeah. I wouldn't say who was at the time, but Roger was the person who was central to that. Recall also that at that time, too, they had a lot of noise being made by these maxi taxi, the boom boxes and so on. That too was a problem that was solved during that time. But there's a particular story that I need to tell you about seat belts, because seat belts came into law on the 2nd of January 1995. But for many years before that, we were trying to get this thing in place and couldn't get it in place. Finally, we got the law in place and so on. And when it came to inform the people, well, hey, listen, we've got this thing through the parliament and they've passed the law and it comes into effect on the 2nd of January of 1995, we have to call a press conference. The minister at the time said, listen, I don't know nothing about them seatbelt things, so you better go and do that, you know, Mr. George. I called Roger, but Roger is my sidekick, and said, Roger, we have to do this thing, you know. And unfortunately, we chose the ministry, the public administration, no, the administration building of the police to do it. And one, Mr. ACP Regis, Norton Regis, that's Roger, Norton Regis, came into the press conference and take over the whole press conference as if he's do it, you know. I mean, when we finished that press conference, I was so sad because all the work having to do with the introduction of those seatbelts was done by Roger and I. And here we get this man, he come and steal the whole show. It was real unfortunate. But anyway, that was a particular growing up session for us, because we were quite young and so on. We were in the Salvatore building at the time, but Roger was up on Frederick Street in Traffic Management Branch. But one other story I need to tell you was something that's more recent, but two that's more recent. When I went to the Ministry of Works as minister for a brief period, replacing Minister Warner, we had a request from some people who want to change Ryson Road name from Ryson Road to Ranjit Kumar Boulevard or Road or whatever it is. So I get a letter. The letter was addressed to the Prime Minister saying we would like for this to be done because he was the person who designed the Ryson Road and so on and so on and so on. So I am wondering, boy, you know, to change Ryson Road, they had to have a real good argument presented, you know. So I take the letter and I write to Roger. I say, Roger, we have to find a solution to this, you know. And Roger goes, and well, I had to ask him a few times whether he's working on it, you know. He said, don't worry now, working on it. Don't worry, I'm working on it. And then he comes back with a very well-argued case for not changing the name. So I read it and I say, fine. And I send it to the Prime Minister. Well, Ryson Road is still Ryson Road today, isn't it? But it's all Roger's argument. The argument that Roger think up, I could not think of at all. So I had to give him that. Anyway, no, I can't tell you what he said, man. But the arguments that he made, the argument that he presented, made sense. The other little story I want to tell you is, again, I have moved now from Ministry of Works and Infrastructure, and I'll go on to Ministry of National Security. Don't ask me why I'm moving so much, huh? Right. But anyway, so I'm going there, and I have this challenge now of the people in Sealots protesting the death of that unfortunate accident that took place there with the policeman, killing the people and so on. And you know the amount of fuss and the blocking road and burning tires and so on. And the political reaction to it, of course, is a bill and a walkover. And my instincts are telling me that that is not what is supposed to happen there. Because we already have a pedestrian crossing by the market, and the people who leave Sealots have to either go by the market to cross or go down by the lighthouse. So I called Roger, I said, Roger, listen, this suggestion that we build a walkover there, I ain't agreeing with at all. But I'm the politician, and the people in Sealots ain't going to take me on. So you and your crew find a way to argue that we rather to put a pedestrian crossing down by the lighthouse so people could cross up by the market and down by the lighthouse, rather than to build this huge overpass that will cost us 10 million, whatever it is, and people wouldn't use it. Roger, of course, resourceful as he is, again finds a way to argue the case. He sends the people from the traffic management branch out to do the traffic studies and so on, and to count the people who are using the Rice Road, Etam Highway, who are crossing from Sealots and so on. And they do the numbers and check the number of people and so on. And he also speaks with the head honcho and the representative of the people in Sealots. Now, the importance of that is this. As a politician, they wouldn't trust me, but they will trust Roger as a public servant. And you have to understand that strategy worked, because the proposal that they came up with involved putting that crossover, that pedestrian crossing down by the lighthouse, and putting the barriers and so on in. All of those negotiated by my dear friend Roger, which eventually resolved that problem. So now we have some infrastructure there that allows the people to cross safely, and we have avoided, I think it cost us about $2 million thereabouts, instead of the 10+ million that a walkover would have cost us. But that again is a tribute to Roger. Now I'm giving you these little snippets to tell you that Roger, working in the public service for what, 36 years? And I'm giving you just snippets of things that he would have done in the time that I knew him. I know that he would have done a hell of a lot more. So I want us to give him a round of applause for his contribution. For his contribution to Trinidad and Tobago and for the legacy that he's left. But Roger and I were not only colleagues in the office. We also met on a different level, because Roger is an accomplished musician and a composer and so on. And I was a reasonably good DJ. So we met on a musical plane also, and I used to have these fetes home by me. And people who came to those fetes would swear that it was the best time of their lives, you know, their feting lives. Those parties used to be really out of this world. For those who attended those parties, they still reminisce about the wonderful times. And Roger and Valerie never missed one of them. You know, Roger and Valerie were there at every single party that I had. And Roger loved whenever I played a song, For the Love of You by the Isley Brothers. He would always hug up tightly his wife and dance to that song. So I say all of this to say that I have had a wonderful relationship with Roger. He is all that has been said of him tonight by Mr. Piggot and by Roopa liking. All of that is true if you know him working in an office. And also what has been said by Minister Douglas. Roger feels he could solve every problem, you know? And that is crucial, because I feel I could solve every problem too. You have to believe. You have to believe, otherwise it's better you get out of the office and go home and relax, you know? You have to believe that you could solve every problem that faces you. It is part of what keeps you young. And I think that Roger is still young at heart, in the sense that he still feels that he has the ability to solve problems. I would like to say too to Roger about retirement. But Roger has heard me over and over and over on the issue of retirement, so he understands what I will say, and he knows what I will say. Retirement is a wonderful time in your life. Enjoy it to the max. I was once retired before I came back into politics and this position as minister. But it's a wonderful time of your life. He's heard me speak on this on many occasions. All I will say to him now is, may God give you long, long life. May you continue to have a wonderful relationship with your wife and your family, your children. May you continue to have your circle of friends, because the most important thing in your old age is friends, not money, you know. The most important thing in your old age is friends, especially if you have musical friends like you have here. I'm glad that you have reestablished the meeting with them on a regular basis, because that is the key to enjoying your golden years. Again, I say to you, live long and be a tax on the government. Those in the public service understand what I mean when I say that. Live long so that you can be a tax on the government. Yes, exactly. so that all the money that they didn't pay you as a public servant, you don't pay public servants, you will try to recoup it from them in your later years. All right? So, and may God, as I said, bless you, and may you find in your wife and family and in your friends that continued circle of love. I may bring the fat back, I don't know. Thank you very much.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you. Well, if you had to bring back the fat, it could be right here. Sell out one time.
No, if he liked the space, we could use this for his next retirement.
Oh, shit, yeah. I didn't think about that one. Very good. Okay. It is important to mention the final lucky break here tonight. These guys have come together to play music for the boys' retirement. Yes. What you may not realize is that since those many years ago, they have literally gone in their own different and diverse musical directions. So much so that for a while, it seemed unlikely that these potentially incompatible styles and tastes could be brought together to work seamlessly. I mean, look at the past they have traveled. I want to mention some of their names. Just stand so they could clap. Noel Anthony Mears continued accompanying St. Anthony's Senior Folk Choir, and for many years been leading his own popular parang group, San Antonio de Parandeos. Stephen Encinas continued the art of songwriting over the last 30 years after releasing Rockabye, and has set up a studio where he produces jazz, gospel, and R&B artists. He performs a fabulous voice and piano solo act in night spots and at special occasions. And as a keyboard virtuoso, is also in demand by bands and groups when and wherever the vibe takes him. We also look forward to the release of his song, his long-awaited album, so stay tuned. Give him Neisha Smith also sings for a lot of functions, guests with different bands, and lends her voice and face to commercials. You may have seen her music video featuring her own composition, sung for Gemini, Love in the Sky. Stand up. Hey, a round of applause. Yeah. Tony Johnson leads the Treasury Singers, whose Christmas albums are now a staple on the airwaves. Several of the songs in their repertoire were composed by him. But hear this, believe it or not, he has also made it 4 times to the Calypso Monarch finals at the Masquerade. Not bad for a crooner. Richie Joseph, drummer. Has found a niche as the go drummer for various groups such as Panas Players, Ilan Pale, Clive Zander, and other ensembles, touring to exotic parts of the globe with various blends of calypso jazz. He's a great graphic artist as well, married to a music teacher, Yolande. If you understand there, Yolande. And his offspring are following in his footsteps as well. A round of applause there. Larry Cashie is the only one who literally stopped playing music in 1981 and has only recently picked back up the guitar. They used to say he was ceased, but not deceased. Larry, get up.
All right.
That brings us to Dawud Orr.
What about Steve Neaves?
Huh?
What's Stevie?
Steve Neaves.
Who is Steve Neaves?
The red funny looking fellow in the back.
I don't know. I know your wife. Hi, beautiful wife. Stevie. I knew his wife long before he knew her. And I just told him how beautiful she is. And I told him that before, and he took me to his house. He went and tell your wife, I say she's beautiful. That man who does talk so, they just get it. You mustn't tell your wife nothing, boy. I don't tell my wife nothing, you know. Anyways, my wife was married, so I ain't care. You know, huh? Yeah, they didn't get me. Stevie Neaves and his band, Zuzan Jen. That's how you say it? Or Zuzun Gang. Not Dengue, Zuzu Gang. Yeah, I went to Convent. Have been the corporate amateur calypso competition have been the corporate amateur calypso competition specialist for over 25 years and have an album on the market featuring his unique concoction of calypso, folk, and jazz. One of his compositions, Parang the Roundhouse, has become an established Yuletide standard. He also has a studio. Give him a round of applause, please. Zoom, it's time we hear something from you now. Looking forward. You're talking to Roger, but you're looking at him for his me you're talking to. Looking forward to something. Eh? Brings us to Dawud Orr now. Dawud, while doing commercials at the boys' place, this young Englishman, blowing a mean flute, sax. But listen, let me read what you have here. He has become popular with playing with the likes of Andre Tanker, One World Contraband, and Mungal Patisas Panther, blowing his heart out on the flute, saxophone, and electric wind controller. He has guested with and toured with far too many bands and shows no name. He is into improvisation and challenging projects. However, few people know that he is a prolific composer and singer. He composed so many stirring sounds for the musical Liming back in the 80s. It seems perfectly fitting to end this musical tribute with one of Dawud's most timeless compositions from that show. What could be more poignant tonight than the song entitled Tomorrow? Listen to Dawud. Give him a round of applause first, though.
Just wait and see that tomorrow, when the sun comes up, you'll see. Tomorrow, things will seem clearer. Tomorrow, pretending. Life is better this way. You've got to face your problems like a man, and then you'll see that your problems are only problems. Make believe. Tomorrow things will seem clearer. Tomorrow you will agree with me that tomorrow when the sun comes up you'll see. You can't keep on pretending life is better this way. You've got to face your problems like a man, and then you'll see that your problems are only problems. Make believe. You can't believe pretending life is better this way. You've got to face your problems like a man, and then you'll see that your problems are only problems. Make believe. Tomorrow.
Very, very nice. He composed that himself. That's great. All these guys composed their own music. I am proud to be with this bunch. The boy, you're going to do a little personal thing on yourself here?
There's no vote of thanks. But I need to thank a few people, obviously. I had begged Ruby Myers to come down tonight. I don't think she's here. Is she? Oh, no. Ruby Myers, I have to thank right up on the top because Ruby was covering my back long before I knew that people were trying to stab it. And it's because of Ruby, basically, that I ascended so quickly within the last few years. And I got a little 10 days as arts PS. So Ruby is right there up on top. I'm sorry she's not here. Hopefully she'll see it on the video. Right there, of course, right behind Ruby is Mr. Renald Cooper, who is the head of the public service. I'd like you to welcome him here. I have to thank him particularly, not just for giving me the breaks that I got here, because I'm not too sure I deserved them. I thought I was going to retire much lower down the ranks. But I have to thank him for, well, we have Lincoln Douglas begging for me to come over there, and he went ahead and entertained that when I'm not too sure I was deserving at the time. So thank you very much, Mr. Cooper. I also have to thank him for something that is different here tonight. This is a different kind of retirement function. I went to him, as I tend to do whenever I'm going to do something really radical, and say, I don't want to be in one of those retirement functions in Hyatt or Radisson or Hilton. I say, if they're going to have that, leave me out of it. I say, I would prefer that we have something personal and we have it in my home And he said, that's not a bad idea, you know. Why not? Yeah, do that now. And on the basis of that, we went ahead. And we prepared this space. It wasn't always looking like this, eh? So we prepared this space, and I have to particularly thank Morgan. Morgan, where you went? I saw Morgan dancing. Morgan! Call Morgan there for me. Morgan deserves a special thanks for what he and his people did to pull this together. Morgan! Oh, when he shows his face. Yeah, he's kind of backyard shy. He coming? All right. When he comes, he does comes. All right. I had ideas, and he always has better ideas than me. At least so he thinks. So he insists, and together we did this thing up here. What do you think of this space, by the way? What has happened, and this is the other person I have to thank, is we have the folks from the ministry. We have Candice Alcantara, who is our corporate communication. We have the folks from the culture division, headed by Ingrid and Marlon and the other guys. I particularly want to thank Michael Guidin from the NCC, and Yvonne White, and Camille Ramjon is not here. Yvonne White is from Queen's Hall, and Camille Ramjon from Naparima Bowl. All these people contributed in some way. And we were able to do this thing. Morganize you? Oh. No. All right. There are lots of people to thank, obviously, but I won't go into that. I want to thank my favorite secretary there, Michelle. Michelle came all the way from all right. So when they did up this thing here, and of course this is a pretty clever design done by Dave Cooper. Yeah. You'll get your chance. And Dave put this together, but now that everybody has come and seen this space, they say, well, you can't take this down. So I'm begging Ingrid and they to let me keep it at least for a while. But the thing is, once we kept it, what are we going to do with this space? You know, how many times you get retired? Rent it? You have an idea? All right, fine, so be it. Anyway, I particularly want to thank the guys. You gotta understand that. This is not a band, this is the guys. We call them the Storytime band, but, and the woman, sorry. Yeah. Oh no, I can tell you she isn't. Hello, I'm observant. Hey. Yeah, Adande? All right, good. Are we going to end up this concert? Thank you very much for coming out and sharing this thing with us. I specifically asked that we video it so that we could, 20 years from now, when we could really speak, we could listen back and look at it and enjoy. And for those who didn't actually show up and who would have liked to, hopefully we'll have this footage to show them, right? So we're going to do something now. Percy?
Retirement is the end of something. We all accept that. It is also possible that the very same retirement is the beginning of something else, or the return to something that might have been put on pause. So for those who came in late, we shall end where we started. Once upon a time, there was a boy, a very strange and enchanted boy. And then one day, he turned 60. Here's the boy.
Too late, too soon. I'm just going to show you a part. As we do the chorus, like, we're not landing on the moon. It doesn't matter if your timing's too late or too soon. Let's try it again. Hey, especially the big mouth ones in the front here. I never cease to wonder, could there be something more between the rain and thunder, beneath the sea and shore? about the melodrama every night and day. There'd be no panorama to take our breath away. That's why I write this simple song. I don't mind if you get it wrong. We're not landing on the moon. It doesn't matter if your timing's too late or too soon. I never think about a world at war. What does it matter what we're fighting for? A world at war. I won't be towing any party line. A little truth and I will be just fine. A world at war. Take it away, Dawud. That's why I write this simple song. I don't mind if you sing along. We're not landing on the moon. It doesn't matter if your timing's too late or too soon. We're not landing on the moon. It doesn't matter if your timing too late or too soon. I never thought you'd fire me. Thank you.
Was that good? Was that good?